Hi, my name is Kirsten Tibballs and I'm going to create a spooky but delicious layered chocolate cake. We have a delicious moist chocolate cake, strawberry compote, white chocolate buttercream, which goes inside and outside for the coating. We're going to add an orange hue at the base and we're going to finish it with some beautiful chocolate bats. The cake gets prepared first. The first step though is to preheat the oven. Preheating the oven is as easy as turning the oven on, selecting the function, which I'm selecting Fan Plus, and it's already preset at 160, which is the temperature I require, so I just need to click OK. I'm using an unsalted butter and it's a cultured butter, which means the cream has been fermented before it has been churned into butter. It gives a much better flavour in the finished cake that we're baking. Sugar. I'm using a vanilla bean paste where the vanilla beans have been sourced from Tonga. We mix this until it's light and creamy. Break up the eggs so you can add them in smaller portions. Incorporate each portion of egg before you add the next one. All the eggs are fully incorporated. It's always a good idea that your eggs are at least at room temperature, but preferably at body temperature. All the dry ingredients have been sieved, so I have some plain flour, Dutch processed cocoa powder. All our chocolate flavour is coming from the cocoa powder, so make sure you get a really good quality one. This one is made from 100% sustainable cocoa beans. Sea salt, baking powder, which is going to help to give us some lift. These have all been sieved, but I'm just going to mix them together. I'm going to alternate adding the dry ingredients together with the liquid milk. Now I'm using a cake ring rather than a cake tin, but you can use a cake tin. Evenly divide the batter between the two cake tins. It's going to bake for approximately 55 minutes to an hour, but you'll know when it's ready by putting a skewer into the center of the cake and it will come out clean. I'm placing the tray on shelf position 2. I've diced some strawberries here, fresh in season strawberries. I have some sugar and some pectin. Add the pectin into the sugar. As pectin is a thickening agent, combine it with the sugar so it doesn't hit the strawberries by itself because it can create lumps. Add these 2 ingredients in on top of the strawberries. I'm going to place this on the induction cooktop and I'm going to use induction setting number 6. Once I've got the right consistency, we're then going to add in some lemon juice, which will help to set the consistency of our compote. Stir it continuously. Once you've cooked the strawberries, transfer them into a bowl. We let them cool at room temperature and place plastic wrap on the surface. I'm creating a Swiss meringue chocolate buttercream, which is a fantastic base for any cake that you're making. It's great to smooth out and it tastes delicious. I'm using a local cream from the Western Victorian district. Place the cream into the saucepan. We're going to boil the cream. So I'm going to use induction setting number 9. We're going to bring it up to a rapid boil. And then as soon as it's boiled, pour it over the white chocolate, which I've placed in the bowl, and whisk it together. All the chocolate's melted and we've made a ganache. Leave this at room temperature to cool down slightly and we're going to start the Swiss meringue base. Swiss meringue is fantastic. It's very stable, very easy to make. I've set the oven on conventional heat to 180 degrees Celsius. Take the sugar in the recipe, place it on a tray. These are a non-stick tray, so no lining required. Shake it out. I'm going to turn the oven off. The residual heat will heat the sugar up. Leave it in there for approximately 10 minutes. In a bowl, I'm combining egg whites. Egg whites will whip up the best when they're at room temperature. Actually, the older your egg whites, the better they will whip. Pinch of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is a byproduct of grapes. It doesn't have any flavor, but what it does do is it gives us the creamiest meringue you've ever seen, and a touch of sea salt. As soon as the sugar is hot enough, we're going to transfer it into the mixing bowl and we're going to whip this up until we have a medium peak meringue. Ensure that the butter is chilled when you add it in. Ensure that your ganache has cooled down. Once it's cooled down, you can then incorporate the ganache. This mixture can get a little bit soft. All you need to do, if it does, is place it into the fridge for about 20 minutes before putting it back onto the mixer and whipping it. The cakes have baked and cooled. I'm going to trim the top. The way we trim cakes and cut cakes is using a serrated edge knife. If you just edge it around, cutting as you go, and slowly work your way into the center. Once I take the top off, I'm then cutting these cakes in half. The cakes are easy to cut and they will have less crumbs if you place them in the freezer for a couple of hours first. I have a strawberry soak here, which is vanilla, strawberry and sugar in a saucepan on the induction cooktop until all the juices come out of the strawberries. Strain the strawberries off and then we use this to soak the cake. I have the buttercream placed in a bag. You can just simply spread it out and then drizzle the strawberry compote on top, but I'm going to pipe it. So pipe a ring around the outside, pipe the strawberry compote in, and we continue those layers, layering with 4 pieces of cake. Make sure the top layer of cake is turned over so the base is facing the top. I've assembled the cake. I'm going to add a little bit of additional buttercream just in between the layers. I'm using a flat spatula to put the buttercream on. The first layer of buttercream will be to ensure that we encase all the crumbs. You can then place it in the fridge for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we put a final coat of buttercream on the outside. Adding this second coat will give us a beautiful clean finish. I've coloured a portion of the buttercream orange to add a touch of orange to the base of the cake. I've done that with some red and orange colouring. So this just goes on the bottom, just a thin layer. We're now ready to start the garnish, which is tempered chocolate to create the bat decoration. I've got some tempered chocolate here that I tempered in the microwave. Make sure you use a plastic bowl. Heat it in 30-second increments until you have half liquid chocolate and half solid chocolate. Then simply give it a stir and it will be tempered. I'm placing the chocolate into a pre-prepared paper piping bag. I've printed out an outline of some bats in varying sizes and I've stretched some plastic wrap over the top and taped it to a flat tray. So we start here and then just follow the lines. Can gently peel them off the plastic. With a few of these, once I've released it, I'm going to place a little bit of chocolate here on the base, place a toothpick on, and then go over the top so I can stick them into the top of the cake. Now that we have the bats, just prior to serving, you can place them onto the side of the cake. Whether you're tricking or treating this Halloween, this is the perfect cake to celebrate with, made easy with Miele appliances.